Here is the section that I was just referring to, or here is the print I was just referring to as far as leaving particular holes open in the longeron back by the tail when you're fitting and getting ready to rivet the aft deck in place. So this is drawing 44, and you can see here they have these hole locations here with the arrows. I think that's the right place. Anyway, it says down here, it says, that you're supposed to drill a number 36 and tap for a 632 directly into the longerons for a screw in 9 places. And you're supposed to fit that. Those holes are already pre-punched in this part here. If I can get this off of here. Oh, come on. So this is the part that I had showed just a minute ago actually on the plane. And this is that F794 alpha. So you can see it's pre-punched, and these holes line up with the holes on the longeron, and you have this in place, and these are the holes that you are supposed to drill and tap for screws. So you want to make sure that these hole locations do not get riveted. So back over here at the fuselage, I've been doing some catch-up work on it because, as you can see, and as I've already talked about, I don't have the longerons riveted at all. Everything is just held together with clecos, and I'm working on fitting this aft deck piece in place. But before I put this in place, I want to make sure that I have all of this prepped. So those holes that I just talked about, I have those marked with Sharpie markers so that I don't put a rivet in there. Before I put this in place, I'm going to drill and tap those holes so that I can get in here to clean the mess up. And I've started riveting. So these bulkheads here, wow, I should put the camera where you can actually see what I'm talking about. These bulkheads here, obviously I'm starting to rivet those in place. So I've got this side done, these bulkheads here and these bulkheads here. This side's done. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And I've already riveted the longeron across here. Again, leaving those specific holes open for the screws. I'm going to do that on the other side as well. And then I'm going to drill these locations and tap them. I want to make sure I get everything that I can back here completed before this deck goes on, because after this is in place, you're going to have very limited access to get in here to work with bucking bars and squeezers and vacuum up chips if you're drilling holes, things like that. So I'm going to rivet the other side next, and then I'm going to work on these cover plates, these access holes. These holes have to be drilled to final size, and I got to put nut plates in here and everything, so that's going to make a mess. So I want to make sure I get these completed so I can get inside here and clean the mess up, and then I'll start working on this deck plate. All right. So that's that. I will talk to you guys later. Howdy, everyone. I'm back at the tail section, and I'm still dealing with getting this deck plate on. So here's where I am currently. Now, I don't recall what I've talked about in the past because I'm going back and forth between working back here, working on these rail pieces that are here in the cross brace that goes across here, and working on floor for the house. So I'm not really sure where I left off back here. So if this is a recap, I apologize. So here's what's going on. The instructions have you measure and cut the longerons, and then ultimately you match drill them to the side skins, which is what I have done. So this has all been dimpled. The skin has been dimpled, and the longeron has been countersunk for the dimples. Before I was going to mount this tray, I decided that I wanted to get all the rivets and stuff that I could in place first while I can get in here with the squeezer and a bucking bar before I put the plate on. When I started doing that, I looked ahead and realized that there's a trim piece that goes here, and you're supposed to leave certain holes open for that trim piece. When you look at the prints for that trim piece, you then realize that those holes that you leave open are supposed to be for a number 6 screw, and you drill and tap the longeron for that screw. Well, at this point in the game, I can't do that because these holes have already been dimpled for a rivet. These dimples need to be a lot bigger for a number 6 screw head, and the corresponding countersink on the longeron would then have to be bigger to accept the bigger dimple. Of course, I can't do that now because I've got this all riveted together. I've got all this down here already riveted together, so I can't redimple these. I can't countersink this for that bigger dimple. So my plan is to do this. I am going to drill these through for a number 30 drill bit, drill these through. Then I'm going to countersink the trim piece, the skin, and the aileron. I'm going to machine countersink it to fit the head of a number 6 screw, so the head will be flush. On the back side of the longeron, I'm going to put a nut plate for a number 6 screw. Now, of course, the kit doesn't give you those for this particular application, but fortunately I have some. So this is the trim piece that I'm talking about. This is part number 794 alpha. And I'm going to try to cleco this to the side of the fuselage, and then I'll machine countersink these screws in place to the skin, to the longeron, and then I can drop a number 6 screw through here and into this nut plate. So this is a number 6 nut plate. As you can see, it's very small, and the rivets are absolutely puny. They're like 1/16 inch in diameter. And fortunately, I have those. I've got a bag of those, and they seem to be about the right length. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So this nut plate then will go on the back side of the longeron, of course, and I'll have to drill and machine countersink for those rivets as well. So there'll be a small rivet head on either side of this hole here, a flush rivet on either side of this hole, So that's kind of what I'm going to work on next. I'm going to get a few of those going here, and then I'll come back and show you what they look like, and hopefully it will work out, because at this point I don't know what else to do. I definitely want to use flush rivets through here. You know, I could just, at this point I could just drill and tap, I guess, as per the plans, and put a regular, round-headed Phillips screw or something like that. I mean, there's other ways to do it. But to have flush rivets and flush screws all through here, the way that I'm getting ready to do it now, I think is probably the best choice. I am not a fan of running steel screws through aluminum angle. The wall thickness of this angle is not very thick, so with a 632 screw, you don't get a lot of thread engagement to begin with, and I just don't like that. Not that this trim piece is going to go on and off, you know, a lot, but I would imagine once you go through here and you strip one of these holes, and then what? Because everything is riveted on. You've got your skins, your top skins on. So I'm just going to do nut plates. So let me get cracking on that and I'll get back to you.